Hello everyone! Today it is a long-awaited language journal update and in general language goals update. It's been quite a while since I've updated you guys on my language progress. It is the 2nd of September today, so it is time for me to do my monthly language review. I do a review of how the month went every month, so today I'm going to go through reviewing August. August was not the best month for language learning because I was extremely busy at work. So I didn't do as much language learning as I wanted to. And that's okay, like I always mention, it's just my hobby and I adjust things as I go along. What my language reviews usually consist of is just general thoughts of how the month went, the amount of time I spent on language lessons on italki, and of course how long I studied each language. I'm gonna suspect that the amount of time spent learning languages is gonna go down significantly comparing June or July to August, but we'll see. The languages that I'm mostly focusing on these days are Hungarian and Spanish. Now that doesn't mean I'm not still learning Japanese, Korean, Chinese, French, Vietnamese and Tagalog, but it just means that Hungarian and Spanish have been my priorities recently and I focus most of my time on them. Singapore has unfortunately gone into another sort of partial lockdown and we're just reopening for small groups, which means from next Saturday I'm gonna start attending Sábado de Español, which is my weekly Spanish language exchange. That is honestly the best time for me to get Spanish speaking practice in. I learned so much from people just being in a speaking environment where I can pick up new words. I bring my notebook with me and I write down words as we speak, and everyone is there for the same reason, with the goal of practicing Spanish. As for Hungarian, I take Hungarian lessons every Monday after work, which is the worst time, but my tutor is great. I think he prepares the lessons really well. I've been able to speak a lot about design and film and architecture even in Hungarian, so I'm definitely going to continue doing Hungarian lessons as well as Spanish language exchange. As for French, I speak a lot with my friend Ali. I've mentioned her in so many of my other videos. We recently had a staycation, so we stayed at a hotel in Singapore and we spoke French for maybe a third of the time. I don't want to push it and say half of the time, but a third of the time I got some good French speaking practice in. So I'm still trying to keep that up, but I'm not doing as much active studying compared to other languages. So that's a general update of what I can remember went on in the past month. Excuse my English today. And now I'm gonna go and show you how I write my monthly language review. Speaking of monthly things, by the way, if you have not yet subscribed to my free monthly language learning newsletter, it's called Lindie's Monthly Language Roundup. Please do, it's completely free. I send it out at the end of every month. And what you'll find in the newsletter is a recap of videos and blog posts that I've made, some handy language tips that I don't share anywhere else apart from the newsletter, a recommended video from someone else in the community, as well as a vocabulary and a grammar tip, and a monthly app or textbook or resource recommendation. So you can expect that in every newsletter. I've just sent out the one for August, so if you want to sign up for free, check the link in the description and you will receive the next September newsletter at the end of September. The first thing I do when I do my language review is just to count up the amount of hours I did taking italki lessons. Not because it's like trying to prove anything, it's more just like, oh, I've actively studied this amount of hours. I suspect it's gonna be pretty low for August. I have done 108 lessons on italki in my lifetime. That is, oh my goodness, I only did 1 hour in August. I've only had a lesson on the 10th of August and the rest are in July and some booked for September. That is so bad. Well, I did preface this to say that August was an incredibly busy month. Okay, so just 1 hour of Hungarian lessons in August on italki. That's fine, it do be like that. Then what I do is I just review what I've written in my diary. So, oh yeah, I did do a week of, oh, would you look at that? I did have 1 week of doing an audio lesson on Speakly, in the first week of August, so that was a lot of Spanish audio practice. Only did about 2 hours, about 1 hour of Hungarian and French the next week. The week after, I wrote in Korean, 회사에서 짱 바빠서 공부 못함, which means it was super busy at the office. I didn't study, and my calendar is empty for the 3rd week of August. And then the 4th week, I just had a little bit of French practice because I had my staycation with my friend. So it was honestly the worst month, and that's fine. What I do after that is just write a little summary of what happened, and generally I write these summaries in French, Korean, English, or Afrikaans because those are the languages that I think the fastest in and can just write on the spot. So I'm just gonna write my little summary in Korean. I've written my general summary in Korean, just talking about how it was a really busy month, but I'm super happy because I got a promotion at work, and then unfortunately I only managed to study 1 hour of Hungarian lessons on Italki, but my teacher always prepares the lessons very well, so I'm really grateful. And now I'm just gonna write a little part in Spanish because I did that Spanish challenge in the beginning of the week, so let me try. I barely write in Spanish, so semana in the first week of the month, semana del mes, I think. I have no idea how to say a challenge, so I'm just gonna say challenge. Cada día. Oh my gosh, I almost wrote French. Cada día or todos los días? I don't know. Con Speakly. Speakly is my favorite app. You can check on my website discounts page if you would like to check out Speakly. Con Speakly. Fue divertido y útil. It was fun and useful. I hope that was right. So let's count up the hours of studying I got in. As I mentioned before and in a few blog posts, I use the app called Toggle just to do a timer of when I actively study. I don't usually track passive studying, which would be like watching series or listening to podcasts, but for this month of August, I did want to just see how much of that I do get in for curiosity's sake. So I got about 10 hours of French passive studying in. Because that was 2 hours of talking to my friend. I would summarize it to about 2 hours plus 8 hours of watching a series in French. And then about 2 hours of Spanish and only 1 hour of Hungarian, which was my Hungarian lesson. The rest is just work that I do on apps. I track my side projects as well. Not a fantastic month, but that's fine. Let's write our little time tracker. And I'm gonna note that it was passive learning because I don't want to look back on this and generally only track active learning and then suddenly be like, oh, in August I learned French for 8 hours. I just watched a series for 8 hours. So was it 8 hours or 8.5 hours? 8.5 hours of watching a French series. And I pretty much only did listening and a little bit of active learning on Speakly for Spanish, so that was about 1 hour and 55 minutes. Hungarian. And there we have it, my not so great monthly update. September is the last month of Q3, so I think I'm gonna set some small goals for September. I didn't actually plan out Q3's goals so much because I knew I would be busy at work, so I took a little bit of break. I'm just gonna make a quick, maybe a checklist of things I would like to achieve in September, and then for the Q4 of the year, which will be the last 3 months, I'm gonna set some proper goals, but I'll do that at the end of September, so you can come back for another video on that. Firstly, this page is looking super boring, so we're gonna add some stickers to it. Teddy bears. I have some flower stickers and some cacao frames and whatever these are. Some people might say it's childish to add stickers, but it just makes the page so much nicer to look at. I like to go back and look at things, so it gives me, it sparks joy and it makes me happy. How cute are these teddy bears? Let's pop them in here. Oh, no, I can't do that. There. a little tree to symbolize growth, which I haven't done in this month. There we go. And then the most fun part is to draw a colored line to represent the amount of hours I spent on languages. So each block is an hour, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 hours. Oh no, it's gonna go over. French speaking practice, I would estimate a bit at 2 hours. 1.5 hours of Spanish listening and studying practice. 1 hour of Hungarian. I should have started these blocks at the same area. Oh dear. Really how I plan my goals is just from off the top of my head. The sticker is so cute, I have to put it in here. It's so sweet. So I'm just gonna think about some small things I want to achieve in September. I think about the language and then what I want to achieve in it. So for Hungarian, I want to take at least 3 lessons. So I can give myself a break if I do have a week where it's not feeling great. So 3 italki lessons. My Hungarian tutor has also given me the homework of writing a few sentences every week. So if I write about 10 sentences each week, I could get 40 sentences done. So I'm gonna say 40 vocab sentences. So yeah, just 2 simple goals for Hungarian, 3 lessons and 40 sentences. For Spanish, I would like to start this book. Ollie Richards, I just banged my foot and it hurts. Ollie Richards was so kind to send me this book. It is 101 Conversations in Simple Spanish. So I'm gonna start by working through the beginner book. And I really like that in the start, he writes a lot of his approach to learning. What is the difference between intensive and extensive learning? And then for the rest of the book, it's really just a short dialogue and some vocabulary. It's super cool. My foot still hurts. And I'm going to just start it and see how far I get. I'm not gonna give myself a number of pages to do, but this is just gonna be some fun reading whenever I have some downtime. I haven't been asked to talk about this book. This is really just honestly the book I'm using, but if you are interested in getting this book, I will put the link to it in the description so that you can purchase it on Amazon. Okay, so let's put that in my journal. So right over here, we've got our goal for Hungarian, and we've got our goal for Espanol. And I also want to attend at least 2 Saturday Spanish exchanges. So 2 times Sábado de Español. And that should be enough for Spanish. I think these goals are looking good. Since these Spanish and Hungarian are my main focus languages, I don't think I'm gonna add any specific goals for other languages. I haven't studied Tagalog in a very long time. It would be super nice if I could review some textbook chapters. So let's do that. Tagalog, review all chapters. I'll show you the book I want to use. I've been using Easy Tagalog by Tuttle. There aren't a lot of Tagalog resources out there, and this is one of the best books I've found because it's, I don't know, it just feels really nice to hold. It's got dialogues and activities that you can do. It's really fast paced though, like 3 chapters in, you're doing super complex grammar. Okay, anyone fluent in Tagalog will probably laugh because this is not super complex, but as a beginner, it feels very complex. So I've worked up to about chapter 5, and I think it would be really good for me to review this because probably the last time I opened this book was like in March or April. Time to work on Tagalog. I am gonna just say review all chapters in Easy Tagalog. So right over here we have 3 little goals we want to accomplish in the month, and I think it's just good to write them down to solidify them. So pretty simple. I'm taking things easily, taking things very easy here in quarter 3, and then once quarter 4 starts, the end of the year, the last 3 months, I'm gonna shift things up and study a lot harder. So maybe this video wasn't what you expected. I don't want you to get the impression that a lot of my life is just fully dedicated to languages. I try not to make it too difficult for myself, but I'm just gonna enjoy the process. So those are my updates. Thank you so much for watching my planning video. Oh yes, a lot of you have asked where I get this journal. It's from MUJI. I don't know if they sell it online, but honestly, you can get any journal that has a blank page and some dates on the side. You can even create it yourself. You don't need to have a very structured journal. You can make it however you want. That is it for me for this planning video. If you would like to see a speaking update in Espanol or Magyar, please let me know, and I can definitely do those videos as well. I would love to practice my speaking a lot more. This is more a planning video, so let me know if you'd like to see that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!